What's up, everybody? It's me, Grimace. You're watching The Bespoke Woodsman, and today we're going to talk about cook kits. I recently had someone approach me who was thinking about starting backpacking, and of all the gear-related questions, the biggest one he had was about his cook kit. Now, let me start by saying, yes, I do cook, and it's not because I like having a warm meal at the end of the day, necessarily. It's not because of anything except the truth of the matter is I don't like cold soaking. So if you're unfamiliar with cold soaking, what it is basically you get a jar like a Talenti jar and you put your food inside of it and you put water in it to rehydrate it, and then you just eat it like that. Cold, usually mushy. I don't usually like the texture. I have yet to find a cold soak recipe that I really like, but that is what a lot of people do. The other thing you can do, especially on a shorter trip, is just not cook at all or not soak at all, is just have food that doesn't require any rehydration, whether that's jerky or whether that's the tuna packets or whether that's a candy bar. Like anything that doesn't require rehydration is also an alternative. I like to cook as a sort of end of day ritual, if nothing else. So then what does my cook kit look like? Well, let me say that I took a long time to sort of get that part dialed in. I like things that are simple, but also a little bit versatile. But for the longest time, I just used this Jetboil Flash. I've had this for 7 or 8 years. I've had this for a very long time. It has never failed me. It's very good for heating up water in a flash. It is literally called a Jetboil Flash for a reason. So the flash comes with this primary container. It's got fill lines. You put water in it and you attach it to the burner, which is self-attaching. You put in fuel, which I don't have with me right now, and you turn it on, you light it, and it boils water. This part changes colors, so when this is yellow, you know that your food is ready to go, that your water is boiled. This does come with a pot holder system that you can put on. I don't love it. It's unwieldy. It doesn't thread really well. It doesn't fit super great. I don't love it, but you can use it. One of the biggest switches I made this year in terms of my entire system, though, was my cook kit. So this is an op sack, an odor-proof sack. I literally carry all of my food in here, and at the bottom of it, I carry my cook system. So this system contains one utensil. This is the long-handled Toaks titanium spoon with a polished bowl. I also have the Sea to Summit spoon. I don't like it as much because the texture of the bowl is just rough and grainy and it never feels clean. The other primary component of my system is this GSI Outdoors Pinnacle Soloist. I use this as my primary mug and pot. It came with a lot of things inside of it. It came with a utensil and a bowl. Sometimes I'll take the bowl, but usually I just bring this. On some trips, depending on how I'm eating, I will actually just use my Keith Titanium 650 milliliter mug as a pot. But I do like bringing this, and there's not a huge weight savings, so usually I'll bring the Soloist. So inside of this pot, we do have my bear bag. This is the Light AF large bear bag. Folds out. I keep it in here with the rucksack that came with it. That rucksack also holds Zing It and the small carabiner that I use to clip that all together. I'll show you in a subsequent video that entire system. But that all goes in the food bowl. Also in here is my stove. Now this is the BRS titanium stove. I do also have an MSR Pocket Rocket Deluxe. Depending on weight, sometimes I'll bring this, sometimes I'll bring the other one. Just sort of depends on how I'm feeling and usually how much wind I think is going to be involved, because this does not do particularly well in the wind. The Pocket Rocket is just much more fuel efficient. Speaking of fuel, I'll bring a small MSR or whoever has the cheapest fuel container, a little lighter, and I'll usually bring just a Ziploc bag for trash or for anything else that I might need. And that's it. It really is just that simple. So I'll take the fuel container, I'll screw on the stove, get it started, light it up, and get to cooking. That's the wrong direction. So that's it. That's my system. Some people who travel lighter than I do might take a cat can stove, something to burn alcohol or esbit. Other people who are less weight conscious or who are cooking for more people will take white gas stove, especially if they're not somewhere where they can get isopro fairly easily. All of my hiking, I've been able to bring isopro and it hasn't been a problem. But if I went overseas, I might consider a white gas burner. Of course, one other alternative is building a fire and cooking over that. I don't do that for two primary reasons. First, I'm in Southern California where we often can't have a fire. And number two, at the end of the day, I generally just like to unpack, set camp, and I don't want to build and tend a fire. I'm usually pretty tired. I have other chores and I want to get to sleep and get hiking the next day. So for me, that's not realistic, but for you, it might be. Once again, my name is Grimace. You're watching The Bespoke Woodsman. On this channel, I talk about hiking, backpacking gear. If those kinds of things interest you, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell. Leave me a comment below telling me, do you cook? Do you go stoveless? Do you cook over a fire? What's your preferred method? And do you have any good recipes? Because I'm always looking for good trail recipes. Anyway, again, I'm Grimace. This is The Bespoke Woodsman. Thanks so much for watching. And hey, let's do this again sometime.